Hey, I'm Kendall Fire, head of Oracle Video and your Oracle TV anchor. And I am coming at you from Australia to give you a recap on all the awesomeness from Oracle CloudWorld Tour Sydney. Now, if you missed this event, you missed out. I gotta be honest, this has been a great event here in Sydney, but don't worry, we're gonna give you a recap of everything that went down here, including all of the news from the innovations that are going on with Oracle. Of course, that all centers around AI, right? We've got Oracle Cloud Infrastructure and AI infrastructure, Fusion Cloud applications and the AI embedded across them, as well as AI agents, Database 23 AI, multi-cloud, and so much more. And of course, we'll hear from customers here in the region about how they're leveraging this technology to do more with less, be more productive and more efficient. And hey, we want to hear from you too. So make sure you use the comments on whatever platform you're tuning in from to ask any questions you may have, or just give us a shout out. We'd love to hear from you. And with that, enough from me. I say we get into it. Roll it. All right, and to kick off our broadcast here live from Oracle CloudWorld Tour Sydney, I am here with Mike Sicilia, Executive Vice President of Oracle Industries. Mike, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me. Always great to be here.
Fresh off the keynote stage here. For anybody who may have missed it, can you give us a quick recap of some of the top takeaways from your keynote?
Sure. Well, we're investing in AI at every single layer of our, from the infrastructure to the horizontal applications, the industry applications, and then our AI data platform, which gives customers the ability to bring their own proprietary data to OI.
Right.
And with all of that, Kendall, we think we've got some terrific solutions for our customers to take advantage of when they're thinking about true end-to-end business transformation or even industry transformation as well.
All right, so I want to unpack a little bit of that. Obviously, starting with AI. What makes Oracle the best partner to not only help customers adopt AI, which everybody's talking about, but also leverage it to be more efficient, more productive, and really drive a competitive edge?
Yeah, well, geez, it's a great question, and there's so many answers to it. So let me try to give you just one or two nuggets.
Okay.
It certainly won't be exclusive, but like as I said, we have AI at every level of the infrastructure. So you can take advantage of AI by adopting the Oracle Autonomous Database.
Right.
And you adopt the Oracle Autonomous Database, and you take human error and human mistakes out of the equation. You can take advantage of AI all the way at the edge with our clinical applications for healthcare, our construction applications for safety, and so on. We've really got it everywhere. Just in Fusion, we just announced 50 more new AI agents, so it's really a hard question to answer to say, where can I get the most advantage of AI, because it really is everywhere. Right. And I think we're getting to the point where AI just becomes the way we conduct ourselves.
Right.
It becomes the way we do business,
yeah.
And you don't really need to think about it as something separate. It's going to be baked into everything we do at Oracle.
It's exactly that. It's baked into everything that we're doing. Now, speaking of that, other companies are charging for AI. What about us?
We're not. We view AI as really helping our customers do more with our technology, and we believe it just belongs as a core feature set. It'll be hard to differentiate AI from anything else in our application stacks, because we're just embedding AI everywhere, and I think it should be a normal course of business.
Okay, so kind of along the same lines here, you mentioned AI agents already. Where do you see AI agents driving further efficiency?
Yeah, well, today AI agents, I think, at the edge are really starting to take off. So we've had a bunch of agents in Fusion in the back office applications. We keep adding more and more and more. When you get to the edge, the industry applications, doctors conversing with patients, a point of sale person connecting with a customer in a retail store, that's where AI, we think, just has such immediate value, and it's a huge help, because the person who's using the technology, your employee, is directly connected with the customer, and both people benefit at once. The patient and the doctor benefit, the merchandising specialist and the customer benefit all at once by asking human questions to AI and getting instant results back. So I think really that's the next phase of AI agents, will be all the way to the edge. Right,
giving them, taking that time that they usually would spend finding those answers, or
right.
Asking those questions, giving that time and allowing them to spend it with the customer.
Exactly right. I mean, how many times have you been in a store where you've asked someone if they had something in stock and nobody seems to know? And it's not because the people don't want to help is that they don't have the information at their fingertips,
Right.
and that completely changes in this model.
And now we will. Do you have any specific customer examples of them using, of leveraging AI and really, doing more with less and achieving great things?
Well, in our clinical AI agent, our healthcare examples, we have 130 customers already live in a few short months by taking this. I mean, there's so many customers to name. I can't name them all, but
right.
the feedback we've gotten from our physicians is this has allowed me to actually participate with my family at dinner time now because I'm not spending time documenting. I've been able to go to my children's sporting events and
right.
theater events and things like that. It's just really heartwarming and game-changing things that AI can do for people at the edge.
I've been honored and had the awesome opportunity to speak with a lot of our healthcare customers lately. I was recently at HIMSS, and I heard directly from our customers about how they're using the Oracle Health Clinical AI Agent to give time back. Again, it's the giving providers time back with the patients, but it's
right.
also giving them time back, like you said, in their day-to-day. They're not spending hours at night doing all of these things
right.
that they once did, and it is truly heartwarming to hear, for sure. Okay, so I want to dive into OCI a bit, another big part of your keynote today. How is OCI really helping drive the development of AI here at Oracle?
Well, look, AI requires some massive infrastructure. So I talked about our networking technology in OCI, which is proprietary to OCI, and that has really allowed us to attract the large language model vendors, the core AI infrastructure vendors to train and inference their workloads on OCI. Now, the fact that we can run them more efficiently and more quickly gives our competitors a price advantage as well,
right.
because these can be very expensive queries to run, but if you can run them in a fraction of the time, then you pay a fraction of the cost. We're also embedding AI for security and for security reasons at every level of OCI. OCI in and of itself has different levels as well. So it's really important that we think about, again, that end-to-end piece things. Then finally, OCI has the most flexible deployment options on the market.
Right.
Whether it's on-prem, whether it's hybrid, on-prem meaning we can bring OCI to the customer's data center, whether it's a hybrid environment, whether it's a government cloud environment, or whether it's a public cloud environment. No matter the environment that our customers choose, they get the same services, the same AI-powered services. There's not different versions of our cloud. It's all the same. So without OCI, we would not be as far along as we are with AI as we are in the company at every single level. It is the foundation, it is the footing for the building, and it's what keeps everything else standing and thriving.
So kind of going to last page first here, first page last, how would you define our enterprise AI strategy?
Yeah. Well, it's multifaceted and multi-layered. I think if you want to put a bow on it, and you want to think about, you've got all the things under the hood, all the infrastructure, all the agents, and all this that makes this work. I think we're able to have differentiated conversations with our customers about value. And the reason we can have questions about value is because we're not just talking about adopting AI for the sake of adopting AI and saving a few seconds here, a few seconds there, and taking a few shortcuts. We're talking about actually changing the way our customers interact with their customers.
Right.
And the reason we can have those conversations, Kendall, is because we're doing this at every single layer. And when you think about adopting that, you're actually adopting a transformative structure. And then finally, we're going to allow them to bring their data, whether it's in an Oracle data source, whether it's in a spreadsheet, whether it's in some other competitive database, or whether it's in any various unstructured format, and bring that to further tune these AI models to make it very, very specific and very contextually aware, not just to their business, but to their customers as well. I don't know anybody else on the market who's having or is able to have those conversations with customers today. So that, to me, makes it very, very exciting.
That's how we stand out from these other major cloud providers.
Sure. Exactly.
Okay, so one of the other big things that you mentioned when it comes to OCI is scale, really. It's scaling up, it's scaling out, but it's also scaling down. What customer needs are driving this?
Yeah, well, there's lots of customer needs where you're scaled down. So if we think about government, not all countries are the same size. And there are a lot of countries that it's not cost effective for them to think about building major data centers. So they're very interested in our dedicated regions, and we're working with governments throughout the world to bring our dedicated regions, again, all the same services, but in a much smaller footprint, a much smaller upfront commit to bring those dedicated regions to those countries. Banks, utilities, highly regulated organizations sometimes would rather have that infrastructure on their premises. But what they're not saying is, I want a new generation of on-prem. What they want is remotely hosted, remotely managed, and remotely secured infrastructure on their premises in their data centers. That is very, very unique to Oracle. There's nobody else that's delivering this AI infrastructure either at a country level, at a customer level, from a regulatory level. Right. Some others do it with edge compute, and their sovereign story is about edge. But edge means at some point that data goes somewhere else and some point it leaves. Our data never leaves. Right. Customers' data never leaves. It is truly sovereign, it is truly secure, no matter the footprint that they choose. And I think having that flexibility really, again, is another differentiator and allows us to have very different conversations than our competitors are.
Especially in those, like you said, those highly regulated industries, that's huge. Okay, final question here. We are building hundreds of data centers around the world. Why? What impact will that have, especially for customers, I mean, like right here in ANZ?
Yeah, well, again, it's about scaling up and scale down. So we're building hundreds of different sized data centers throughout the world. Some really big ones, so some very big ones we've recently spoke about, our core AI infrastructure with GPU cluster farms. These are massive data centers measured in gigawatts, but we also have data centers that are measured in 150 kilowatts. So we can scale up and scale down. And the reason we're building so many data centers is because customers have so many choices, and we believe that giving them the choice as to where they want to start, and they may want to go somewhere else in the future, is going to really put us in a different stratosphere in terms of number of data centers.
Well, a lot of exciting stuff to come. Mike, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me. Always great to be here.
And now we're going to take a quick break, but don't go anywhere, because right after this, we'll sit down with Suncorp Group. Remember those futuristic cartoons with flying cars, instant gourmet meals, and robots doing chores? Well, gourmet meals still take time, but robots, we got you. They're called AI agents, and they're live today in Oracle's Fusion Cloud applications. Now you can have goal-oriented agents running end-to-end business processes in hiring, field service, customer support, ledger analysis, financial forecasting, and coding. Over 50 AI agents ready to serve today. Get the guide at oracle.com/applications. Welcome back. I am now joined by Tom Richardson. He is the EGM of Bank Transition and Corporate Technology for Suncorp Group. Thank you so much for joining us, Tom.
Thanks. It's great to be here.
It's great to be here in Sydney with you. Now, a lot of our audience tuning in right now probably knows Suncorp Group. You are Australia and New Zealand's, one of Australia and New Zealand's largest insurance groups with some very well-known and recognized brands nationally. So you don't have to give us too much insight into what you do, but can you tell us what's been new for Suncorp Group over the past couple of years?
Yeah, look, Suncorp has many brands in addition to the Suncorp brand: Amy, GIO, Bingle, Vero. Lots of brands. Just to put some scale on Suncorp, we've got about 10 million customers.
Wow.
So yeah, one of the biggest in the country. The last 3 years for Suncorp's been around simplifying the business. We used to have life insurance, wealth management, and banking. Mm-hmm. We've divested all of those businesses with a focus on pure play insurance.
Wow.
That's the reason I joined Suncorp, to drive through the sale of Suncorp Bank, which we achieved July last year. We sold the bank to ANZ Bank.
Yeah, so tell me a little bit more about that. What is your role in this kind of the last couple of years in the divesting of those other parts of the business?
Yeah, so a couple of years getting ready to sell the bank to ANZ, and I now manage the ongoing relationship with ANZ as the new owners, which is still a sizable relationship. The other part of my job is managing technology for head office. So essentially I run tech for HR, finance, risk, legal, group corporate affairs, and that's where the relationship with Oracle comes in.
Got it. Okay, so with your role, can you give us some insight into why it is so crucial for insurance companies to modernize and the impact that can have not only on governance, but also on customer experience and efficiency?
Yeah, so alongside that business simplification, we've done 3 years of basic foundational tech simplification. Get out of data centers, 100% cloud.
Wow.
Modernize our data and customer and digital layers. Where we're at now is really 2 technology imperatives. 1, platform modernization, and 2, artificial intelligence enablement. Mm-hmm. Platform modernization piece, we're replatforming all of the 5 major insurance functions: policy, claims, marketing, contact center, and my area of corporate. And so we'll be fully onboarded to Oracle Fusion for Finance in May this year, and the HR business will follow in March next year.
Wow.
Statistically, that takes about 75% of my applications, about 85% of my data out of the picture.
Wow.
So truly simplifies it. And the opportunity there is partly about cost, but more importantly about agility and the ability to respond to the needs of those businesses.
I mean, this is a huge undertaking. How are you partnering with Oracle in this modernization effort?
So look, we've had a long-term relationship with Oracle. The finance platform is the old e-business platform.
Right.
So we're moving across from that. The HR implementation is new for us. We're partnering with Deloitte, who's obviously an Oracle partner.
Right.
And then other pieces of engineering work, we're using Oracle Consulting to assist us with whilst building up our own capability. So every piece of the kind of Oracle family is coming into play at Suncorp.
Yeah. Why, again, you're talking about you have this long-lasting relationship with Oracle. Why choose Oracle as your partner for the cloud? I mean, instead of going with competitors or going elsewhere?
Look, it was a really easy decision around finance. We knew the product, we knew Fusion was essentially the next iteration. We took a very, very long, hard look at the HR systems that were out there, and look, it just fitted the size of our organization and the aspirations that we had to fundamentally change the experience of our staff.
Yeah, well, that's great to hear, and I'm glad even after that long process that Oracle was still the winner there. Now, you mentioned AI. Can you tell me about how you see AI driving further operational efficiency, better customer experience, and even a more competitive advantage for Suncorp?
Yeah, so I talked about those two technology imperatives, platform modernization and AI enablement. That's not a technology strategy, it's a fundamental assumption that underpins our business strategy. Right from the board down, the assumption is AI is part of the insurance framework and AI is transformative within insurance. There's probably three reasons why. Data, digital and people. On the data front, insurance has always been a data business.
Right.
Historically, that's around actuarial and risk management, but risk management now looks like real-time telemetry streams from vehicles. It looks like real-time weather monitoring. It looks like climate change prediction. That's all open to transformation through AI.
Wow.
On the digital front, we do about 80% of our origination and servicing digitally, and AI is just about making that experience better for customers. We're at about 2 million AI-enabled conversations with customers a year.
Wow.
And that's just doubling every 6 months or so.
Right.
I think the real transformer, though, is in that people space.
Right.
The heart of insurance is a people business.
Yeah.
We have an enormous privilege of meeting our customers in their hardest, most difficult time.
Right.
When their house is flooded, they've crushed their car, they can't work, their business is not operational, they're trying to recover. And most of our customers say at some point, if not all the way through that claims process, they want to interact with a human.
Right.
So our AI journey there is about maximizing the time in which we can have staff talking to customers.
So important.
Yeah.
So important.
So really simple use cases. We have a claim summarization application. It takes all of the case management of a customer, summarizes it on a single page. It's taking between 5 and 30 minutes of prep time out of customer interactions for the complex cases.
Yeah.
And the case managers are spending that time directly interacting with customers.
And 5 to 10 minutes, I can tell you, that makes a difference when speaking to a customer.
Huge.
Yeah.
It's huge. And similarly in the call centers, kind of plain language queries is preventing that awkward conversation that says, I know there's water coming through your front door, but can I just put you on hold?
Right. Oh, yeah.
And being able to say, yes, I can see your policy. Here's how it will work. Here's what I need you to do.
Right.
A, it gets the customer off the phone more quickly so we can deal with the next customer. And B, you just don't have that awkward kind of hold music.
Right. Wow. Well, again, incredible use cases.
Yeah,
Thank you for sharing that. Something that stood out to me is that you said, AI is really the underpinning of your company. I mean, it is the foundation of your company. How people are scared of change.
Yep.
And in other businesses, change management is one of the hardest things in helping employees and businesses really adopt AI. How at Suncorp are you really fostering this culture of innovation, especially when it comes to working with technologies like AI and Gen AI?
Look, it certainly helps that the board and the executive leadership team are fully on board, not just on board, but have embedded it in the strategy. That certainly helps. But that's not going to get everybody else on board. We're on a really good journey at the moment within Suncorp. The last innovation conferences that we had, the last two were AI focused. We had 2,000 attendees, internal staff, business and tech. We've had 500 people go through formal training, and the last hackathon that we had, where we put the AI tools out in the hands of the participants, we had 400 people from both business and tech.
Wow.
So it's filtering right across the organization, from the board through the leadership to the engineers to the frontline businesses. And look, we're in a good place and people are embracing it. That's
great. And I would think that you're, like you said, the kind of people-centered approach also helps. You know where you stand and the importance of your roles when it comes to the people of Australia and New Zealand and helping them, like you said, in those really challenging times.
Yeah, look, interacting with customers at their time of need is a privilege, and that comes with an obligation to use the tools in the right way and interact with customers in the way that they want to interact, and that's really where our tools are focused.
It's critical. Well, to wrap up here, what's next on the roadmap? I mean, you've done so much already. What do you got coming up?
The next 2 years is about execution for us. We're not in experimentation with AI, and we're not in experimentation with platform modernization. It's a really substantial program of work. It's about executing on that program of work to put the foundations in place for the new platforms, build out those obvious AI use cases, come up for a breath of fresh air. There will be no limit on the number of new use cases that we have for that AI capability.
Right. Well, that's great to hear. Final question I got for you is, this is one of the first events here that Oracle's put on here in Sydney. What is the importance of an event like this for you as a customer, but also for potentially anybody who missed out on today and maybe should come next year?
Oh, look, I've spent my career working in big organizations in Australia. It's really easy to become myopic and to think that all of the answers exist inside your own organization. I think getting a global perspective, a partner perspective, and seeking out people who've answered the problem spaces that we've got in different ways is really the value for me. Yeah, well, that's great to hear, and we look forward to coming back again and continuing those conversations and everything, all the innovation that we've got going on. Great. Thank you so much for doing this with us. Thank you. All right, we're going to take a quick break, but don't go anywhere, because after this we will have on Wayne Goodall, the Vice President of Applications Development here in JAPAC, as well as Sandeep Mand from Westpac, another customer. So join us right after this break. Enterprise applications without AI, that's like a car without wheels or a plane without wings. For almost a decade, Oracle has embedded AI within our applications at no extra cost across the entire suite. Fusion Cloud ERP, EPM, HCM, and CX, so you already have the AI to automate manual processes that slow you down, react to market shifts in real time, and stay ahead of the competition. This is your AI advantage. Get a free demo at oracle.com/applications. All right, and we are back, and this time I'm with Wayne Goodall, the Vice President of Applications Development here in JAPAC, as well as Sandeep Mand, Executive Director for Westpac Institutional Bank. Thank you both so much for being with us here in Sydney. Thank you. All right, Sandeep, I'm going to put you in the hot seat first. Let's just dive right into it. The bar has been set high for consumer payment experiences, and now we're seeing the demand for enterprise as well as governments to also deliver those same experiences. Can you give us a little more insight from your experience and why this can be a challenging space to get into? Yeah.
So you're right. I mean, consumers are the technology change has been dramatic in the consumer space, and the same consumers are now working in organizations and government departments. So they're asking for improvements in the way B2B payments are working. Let's take an example of virtual cards. Virtual cards has been around for over a decade, And despite that, the take-up has not been very high. And one of the main reasons for that is because the customers have been asked to step out of their platform and move outside of their core processes, generate virtual cards, send it to suppliers. So that means breaking the whole efficiency life cycle.
Right.
And that's exactly what is the barrier. But that's all about to change with the Oracle embedded payment experience. And the common themes that we are hearing from customers on challenges are the technology, the cost of technology to change, the change management process, and also the complexity of engaging IT teams and making those changes. So any solution that addresses those points will get the attention from customers.
Well, that might be in consumer payments, but I think we're also hearing those challenges in general when it comes to adapting new technology, or new in air quotes technologies. But what are some of the key issues organizations are facing with B2B payments, especially across Australia?
Right. I think what organizations are looking at is moving more from a delegated model where the cards are in the hands of employees to a more centralized model. So in a centralized model, effectively all the invoices are going to the centralized team. They're processing the invoices and making those payments.
Got it.
Now, from an organization's perspective, when they have high value and low volume payments, it's all good because those suppliers are well set up. But the key challenges that they face is when they have a low value but high volume of payments. And that is the biggest issue that organizations are facing when it comes to supplier payments. And that because of this, what happens is that the SLAs that they have set for invoice payments, those get missed out. There are a lot of exceptions that they face in the process. The cost of processing increases. So effectively, what's happening is organizations are not able to meet their KPIs, and that's really the biggest issue.
So Wayne, is there anything that you would add to that before we kind of dive into how you're overcoming all those challenges?
It's a big question. I mean, virtual cards has been a real, it's taken a slow uptake, but ultimately if we look at the cost of working capital in organizations and how they can utilize the virtual processes to be able to deliver that, it's part of the B2B cycle that we're going through. It really is changing the way people start thinking about secure payment methods, being able to make sure that there's no leakage in payment formats and so on. So it really is a game changer when it comes to definitely enterprise grade sort of payment cycles.
So then again, adding to this, we're hearing the benefits of it, right? You've talked about some of the benefits. What is Westpac doing to help solve this for your customers?
I think there are two major things that the way we are approaching this. First is at a client level. So what we are doing is we are working with individual clients in a more consultative manner to understand what are the challenges, what is their working environment, what are the challenges they are facing, and what are their goals.
Okay.
Then we collaborate with them to unpack and run workshops to understand how our products and solutions can fit into their environment, work according to their needs and address those key challenges that they're facing to achieve their KPIs.
So putting your customer first.
Yes. Exactly, that's the key point. And the second thing is working with esteemed organizations like Oracle and MasterCard to develop these market-leading solutions which will help our customer achieve their goals.
So Wayne, how are we partnering with Westpac to really provide a true end-to-end solution with Oracle Fusion Cloud ERP?
It starts at the beginning. I mean, the reason we partner with organizations like Westpac is, one, they've got a breadth of customers, two, we've got a breadth of customers, but if you look at how traditionally we do things, it's very disjointed. There are payments everywhere, there are receipts everywhere, so money is flowing to and from everybody's application. So to have the facility to connect those in an embedded finance perspective, embedded banking, it's been critical, and it's a great message to have that it's going to be very simple. Our customers have multiple bank accounts, they have multiple payment methods. So to have that facility to try and synchronize those into something simple and then deliver that as a quick cost of capital process is excellent for.
I hear you saying simple, right? And I hear you saying this is a big efficiency gain. But why is this innovation so transformational?
there's been corruption. We have lots of security risks these days. Everything is electronic, so people are hacking, all that sort of stuff. So to utilize the Westpac framework with the MasterCard framework behind that as a secure payment method, the most secure payment method in the world, start doing things like that. We talk about AI traditionally. People don't want their data to go out there. You certainly don't want your payment information going out there. So to have that in a secure method like it is, then we are seeing more and more customers wanting that more, and they're approaching us to say, in fact, they're approaching us to say, what are you doing in the virtual card process? What are you doing with this? So partnering with Westpac has been brilliant.
So tell me a bit about your experience with this. First of all, what are some of the key benefits that Westpac is experiencing for virtual cards within Oracle Fusion Cloud ERP? And to add on to this, how does this further improve efficiency and cost savings?
Absolutely. So I think the key differentiator of this solution is that it's an embedded payment experience. What that effectively means is that the client does not need to step outside of the Oracle platform. Within the platform itself, they start the journey and they go through the payment process, and all the reconciliation happens itself within the platform without stepping out. So if I look at from a customer perspective, if we start at the first point, which is when they receive the invoices, now they don't need to do a full supplier onboarding. They don't need to capture the bank account details of a supplier. If they're using a mechanism to verify the bank account details, which costs money, takes time, they don't need to do all that. They can do a light supplier onboarding and move through the first step. So that's an efficiency benefit, and it's a cost saving for the customer. When it comes to the payment time, instead of stepping outside of the platform, creating a bank file, going and making a payment on the banking system, the customer can run the invoice runs, and from Oracle platform itself, an API connects to our capability, generates virtual cards, sends it to the supplier, and then automatic reconciliation happens once the payments are processed. So that's another efficiency benefit from a customer perspective, where they don't need to step outside of the platform.
Right.
If I look at financial benefits from a customer perspective, because they're not going to be out of funds on day one, because they're not paying on EFT, they're getting working capital benefits. In addition to this, what we are seeing in the market is the cost of borrowing for some of the suppliers is very high. So they would prefer to get paid early. By moving payments on card rails, the suppliers can be paid early, and suppliers are willing to give early payment discounts to the clients.
Right.
So that's a win-win situation for the suppliers and for the client. In addition to this, from a client perspective, because they are moving payments to card rails, that helps them in improving their payments time reporting, which is a regulatory reporting requirement for the market. So if you think about the entire life cycle, the client has various points in which they can derive efficiency benefits, process efficiencies, as well as financial benefits in the process.
Yeah,
that's where we see the whole embedded experience.
Yeah, those are huge, huge wins. Wayne, why is this a great example of B2B innovation that we're making come true here at Oracle?
Yeah, I mean, we've got quite a few B2B innovations. This is one of the highlights, for me as an accountant, right?
Yeah.
If we look at, and I'm going to pick on something Sandeep said, the highest cost per transaction process in a business is usually the procure to pay cycle, right? Because there are lots of hands touching that process. Then when it comes to trying to be as efficient as possible in there, the best method is to give them payments in their hands as simple and flow that out. Then when I have conversations with CFOs in working capital management, we're talking about when is the right time for cash to go out the door. When it comes to using virtual cards, you're delaying the outbound portion of your payments, and therefore if you've got a cash deficit, you're in a position where you can take advantage of that, and therefore you're not having outflows at that time. Right. So when you do cash forecasting, it's one of the methods in the cash forecasting. It effectively means that you can manage your cash better, and if COVID taught us anything, cash management is absolutely the most critical thing to businesses, and it's the top of mind of all CFOs. Working capital management is the top of mind of all CFOs.
Anything that you would add to that, Sandeep?
No, I think you've covered everything really well, so that's really
great.
pretty good.
Well, hey, we are here in Sydney, and as a VP of Applications Development here in the region, and as a customer here in the region, why is it so great to have an event here locally? We haven't done it in a minute. So, Wayne, I'll start with you.
Well, look at the buzz first of all, right? Yeah, the buzz. It's noisy. It's buzz. The things are happening. As you said, we haven't done this for some time, and actually, our customers have said, "Why aren't we doing Sydney?" Right?
Right.
It's one of the biggest jurisdictions, ANZ as a whole, in our region. So it was really important to add to that, I think, in the CloudWorld Tour. And if you see, I talk to many customers, I've been on stage with many customers, they get to learn an awful lot from other customers.
Yeah.
So putting them in a room together is critical for their success, for our success.
Yeah.
So I think when it comes to connecting the dots, these CloudWorld events are amazing. I mean, Absolutely. I've done all the ones in the region, and this one is a good buzz.
That's awesome. Anything you'd add to that?
Yeah, look, I think events like this will break the inertia, because what happens is customers, many times they're just sitting back, they've gone back into their BAU. But when you come out into an event like this, to what you said, you're effectively creating a community where people are sitting around, discussing, listening to speakers, and then sharing common challenges and trying to identify what someone else is doing better and growing together. So I think these events like this are quite significant. And for us from Westpac, I think it was very critical for us to come out to this event, showcase that we have a capability that is available, and we are the first bank and the only bank in Australia to partner with Oracle to be able to offer this embedded experience to our existing and prospective customers.
Well, that's music to our ears for sure. So we're really glad you're having that experience, and so glad that you've been here with us. Thank you both for joining us.
Thanks,
Thank
Kendall.
you. Thank you.
Well, and speaking of local events, up next we're going to talk to Stephen Bovis. He is our Oracle ANZ Regional Managing Director to talk about all of the challenges and opportunities we are seeing in ANZ right now. The best AI comes from the best data, and that's your data in a unified suite. With built-in AI, Fusion Cloud ERP can automate standard transactions, better predict business outcomes, and optimize cash flow. Fusion Cloud HCM redefines what a great employee experience is, from recruiting to benefits to performance management. And Fusion Cloud SCM gives you a smart supply chain platform that can automatically respond to changing market conditions. Get a free demo at oracle.com/applications. Hi, and welcome back. This time, I'm joined by Stephen Bovis. He is the Oracle ANZ Regional Managing Director. Stephen, thank you so much for being with us here in Sydney on Oracle TV.
It's great to be here.
It's great to be here, too. We're excited to be back in ANZ, which, Oracle hasn't had an event here in a very long time. So first and foremost, can you tell us what's top of mind for businesses in the region right now?
Yeah, look, I think to start with, I mean, the amount of customers that we've got along today is absolutely fantastic.
I know.
We were in the end, I think we were oversubscribed, but that's a great problem to have. We managed to get them in an overflow room. So, look, I think what the top things that I'm hearing from customers sort of relates around three areas. Number one is around AI. And I think we've moved from that stage of experimenting with AI where customers are now saying, hey, how can I get true business impact out of it?
Right.
And I think what they're recognising is that technology can actually bring a lot of impact to their business.
Right.
So that's fantastic. The other area obviously is data. So without data, you don't have AI.
Right.
So that getting that data foundation is absolutely right. And obviously Oracle, being in the data business for close to 50 years, has the ability to be able to really help our customers in terms of getting that data layer right. And then the final thing's around cloud.
Right.
And, how can they get, business value and agility and, modernize their environments utilizing cloud technologies.
Right. We're hearing that a lot, right? How do you modernize, especially in industries like banking or in, insurance or what have you, some of these highly regulated industries where modernizing is critical, but also so is security. We're going to talk to a couple customers about that here today. But I kind of want to go back to the AI thing. So what makes Oracle, as you said, it's not just about adopting AI, it's about actually leveraging it to do more, be more productive, right? Achieve great things. Why is Oracle a trusted partner to help customers really take advantage of AI in all of those ways that you just described?
Yes, I think it starts with, as I've said, that data layer.
Right.
So we've been in that business for so long, so we know how that works. So we start with that layer. But if you look at our whole technology stack, is that we're actually embedding AI across that technology stack.
Right.
So it starts with industry-specific applications. So whether that be in healthcare, or whether it be in financial services, or whether it be in hospitality or retail, is that we've got the ability to be able to, which was what we're doing, is embed AI workflows and agents in those actual industry vertical applications. And then you come down to more horizontal applications, whether that be finance, supply chain, human resources, so we've got the capability to do exactly the same thing and bring all of that capability to our customers. Right. And they can opt in with some of those technologies that we're introducing. Then when you get down to the data layer, is that based on our experience is that we can really help customers there. We've got a technology called vector search, which allows a customer effectively to go directly to the database and interrogate it using human language, which is fantastic. And then you take that infrastructure layer, which is really our cloud platform, which underpins everything that we're doing, whether that be an application or whether that be that data layer, is that we're really excelling in terms of how we're delivering cloud. Latest technology to the market, highly differentiated, multi-cloud approach, distributed cloud approach, and then within that is embedding GPU technology that customers can get advantage of to do those AI modelings that they're looking to achieve.
Right, and so they are, as we've heard here today, they are achieving great things. Can you actually give me an example of a customer leveraging our AI functionality, again, to do some of this great stuff?
Yeah, sure. So I mean, we've spoken about AI in terms of, I do see that it can bring business value to all different sorts of industries. So whether that be the public sector or commercial organisations. A really good example is in the healthcare space, where we're working with a customer here in Australia to help in terms of staff rostering. So using AI to make sure that they've got staff in their medical, in their clinics, to ensure that patients are getting a really good outcome. And as part of that as well is using the technology to ensure that their teams are not being burnt out as well by being rostered on far too many shifts.
Right. I mean, again, that's here in Australia. We're hearing the same stories in the States as well, and everywhere else we've touched down during these CloudWorld tours. It's really awesome to hear some of the productivity gains and giving people, especially in healthcare, giving them time back, right, in their lives, but also with their patients, for sure. Now, AI agents is another big topic that we've been hearing about. What industries, especially here in ANZ, do you see AI agents really impacting?
I think all industries.
Yeah?
Yeah. Whether that be, I think, the healthcare space, or whether it be finance and banking, whether it be the public sector, my perspective is that they can bring value to all of those businesses in terms of improving productivity, providing better experiences to their customers, or in the case of public sector, their constituents. Right. So the ability to really add a lot of business value, I think all industries can benefit from.
More productivity, more efficiency, the name of the game, right?
Yeah, you got it.
Okay, AI aside, what other major investments is Oracle making here in the region right now?
Yeah, so probably comes into a couple of areas. Number one is in the technology space. We've got our first scale cloud that we announced at CloudWorld that customers here get access to. We've got our Sydney data centre, where we were one of the first to actually have the NVIDIA Blackwell chips, and we're getting more of those coming through very, very shortly. The other area is helping customers. So we're doing lots of proof of concepts for our customers. In fact, going to our customers and saying, what's the most complex problem that you have? And let us try to simplify it for you. And we've had good experience being able to do that. And then likewise, that foundational layer of helping customers in terms of training and skilling and experience. So we're really leveraging all parts of Oracle there. So our Oracle University, Oracle Academy, and then likewise our teams to help customers really ramp up in terms of the skills that they have in their organisation in terms of embracing AI technologies.
Now, with all this innovation, I mean, you just mentioned a lot of things, right? We have the data center, like you said, here in Sydney. We have all of the AI infrastructure, multi-cloud database, you name it, all this innovation. where do you prioritize here in ANZ? Like, what is the top priorities looking out into the next even just 6 to 12 months?
I think it's pretty simple. Priorities start with customers.
There you go.
So if we focus on the customer and we understand their business and we understand the challenges that they have, is that then I believe that what we're able to do then is really bring differentiation to that experience for the customer, help them solve some of those bigger complex problems that they have, help them simplify things. So it starts with the customer.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're definitely listening, hence us being here in Sydney, being in the region for the first time in a very long time.
Yeah.
So bringing this full circle to my first question, what is the importance of an event here in the region for our customers? What would you say to customers who maybe didn't join us today but should come next year?
Yeah, look, I would say a few things. Number one, as I said, is that we've got a big turnout today, which shows that a lot of customers are really leaning in and wanting to hear more about what Oracle's got to offer.
Right.
So that's fantastic. As part of that, it's not just access to great Oracle speakers who are subject matter experts in their area of expertise. It's also engaging with our partner community as well that are well represented here. So we have the show floor where customers can come along and talk to our partners about some of the ways that they can help in terms of implementing Oracle technologies within their organisation. So it's our partner community. And then finally, it is all about customers.
Yeah.
So we have so many customers here today that are actually sharing their stories and sharing their stories in terms of their successes with Oracle and how they're, how they're getting business value out of implementing Oracle within their organisations.
Well, and that's huge for somebody who's watching right now or anybody who's here just talking to each other, learning from each other, gaining insights about how they're leveraging Oracle technology in what ways, and therefore taking it back to their own businesses and helping out in that way.
Yeah, it's the most powerful thing.
Absolutely.
Most powerful thing. Customers engaging with customers.
Exactly. Well, Stephen, it is so great to be here with you in Sydney, and thank you so much for joining us on Oracle TV.
Great, thank you.
Now, speaking of customers in the region, don't go anywhere because up next, we'll sit down with Colonial First State. Run Oracle Database in any cloud so you can bring AI to your data anywhere. Develop AI-powered apps. Use cutting-edge Gen AI features like vector search and modernize your apps with Oracle Database running in every popular cloud platform. OCI, AWS, Azure, and Google Cloud. That means you run your workloads where you see fit with built-in AI, high availability, and the leading performance you expect from Oracle Database. See what you'll be able to do at oracle.com/multicloud. Welcome back. I now have the pleasure of sitting down with Jerome Bulwada, the COO of Colonial First State, and Shanaz Waples, the CHRO. Thank you both so much for joining me.
You're welcome.
Jerome, we're going to start with you. First of all, for our audience who may not know, can you tell us a bit about Colonial First State and your top priorities right now?
Sure, yeah. Colonial First State is in wealth and asset management. We look after 160 billion assets, about 1 million customers and 10,000 advisors. And our values are very much focused around helping clients achieve financial freedom.
Okay, got it. And so what is in this realm, what is your top priority right now?
Top priority for me, operations technology, keep everything secure and safe. And making sure that I make the complex easy for our staff, our clients, and their advisors.
So why partner with Oracle then in reaching these priorities around security and making technology easy, et cetera?
Look, what we found really attractive about partnering with Oracle is that the technologies both have great integration capabilities, so it's easy for me to put everything together, and also very secure stack, which is important for cybersecurity, obviously. Finally, self-service workflows, super easy to use by people leaders and their team members.
Absolutely. That's so important, especially for workplace happiness, but also efficiency and productivity.
Absolutely.
And we're going to dive into some of that. But Shanaz, first and foremost, I want to give you a big congratulations. You were just honored with the Customer Excellence Award in HR Innovation here at Oracle. So congratulations.
Thank you very much. We're really privileged to get the award, and I think it's a real recognition of our amazing HR team, but also our technology partners.
Absolutely. Well, again, great work to both of you. Okay, so I'm going to ask you the same question. As the CHRO, what are your top priorities right now?
So it's really around our purpose of helping Australians achieve financial freedom, and the way I play a role in that is by driving the right culture, attracting the best talent, and helping them basically fulfill their potential.
And how does operating on Oracle Fusion Cloud HCM help in achieving that culture that you're talking about?
Sure. So it helps us because there's a lot more automation, so it frees up our people to really focus on the value add tasks. And also it's engaging because it's quite easy to use. And we get a lot of predictive analysis as well, which really helps us put in place the right interventions.
Absolutely. I'm hearing you both say something kind of along the same lines, which is excellence and operational efficiency, so that your teams can do what you can build the culture that you're trying to build.
Correct.
But for anybody who's watching right now that maybe doesn't know what excellence and operational efficiency looks like, how would you describe that?
For us, we have lots of processes. Recruiting, onboarding, people management, and making sure that those processes are simplified so that people, leaders and staff can do them efficiently and create a good experience for them is critical. Because that means that they can spend more time with clients, with advisors, and with each other to create more innovation for the organization.
Right, hitting that goal of financial freedom for Australians, right?
That's it, yeah.
Exactly, and I think Jeroen summed it up really well. The only thing I'd add is having access to real-time data means we can make smarter, faster decisions rather than having lots of lag indicators. We now have lead indicators, which just helps us move things along a lot more quickly.
What are some examples of, even just one example of a decision you've been able to make with that real-time data to help drive that?
So one of them is in relation to, say, employee well-being. We can use the data to predict, are there teams where we need to put some interventions in, maybe from a resourcing perspective, maybe from an engagement perspective, etc. So it really helps us sort of identify any hotspots, both what's working really well and what's not, and it helps us drive the right interventions.
Why is Oracle Fusion Cloud applications really kind of the best suite to use for operational efficiency for Colonial First State? Jeroen, we'll start with you.
Look, I might start, if you don't mind. But Oracle Fusion Cloud applications are out of the box, create really good capabilities for us to implement. That was one of the things that we needed to focus on when we started to use it. We were suffering from lots of customization. So one of the first things I did was working with the teams under leadership with Shanaz and her team to try to bring it back to standard, the way the system was designed to be used. Now that we've got there, it enables us to use lots of other features as well, and Oracle keeps releasing more features every week, every month, every quarter, including artificial intelligence.
Right. And Shanaz, anything that you would add to that?
Sure. One of the things we really focus on is measuring everything that matters. I'm really looking forward to optimizing the dashboards that the Fusion Data Intelligence System offers. And I think our leaders are going to love that, to be able to create their own dashboards, customize it for their teams, and then use it to drive the right outcomes.
Right, they're able to have that data right at their fingertips right in front of them every day when they sign on, so that's super important. Another thing we talk about a lot is the seamless integration between ERP, for example, and HCM. Why is this seamless integration so important, Jeroen? What benefits does it bring to the company?
It just saves time.
Yeah.
It prevents me from having to build integrations myself and my team, and it helps with reconciliation. Making sure that the data is seamless across all of those applications, so that our people don't have to worry about that. It takes that confusion away. And again, enables them to focus on the really important things.
Right, your clients, your customers.
Exactly.
Right. Shanaz, speaking of people are, of course, our most important, but also our most expensive asset. Sure. How does working in Oracle Fusion Cloud HCM really help drive greater productivity and engagement from your workforce?
I think the main sort of benefit we see is a self-service option. So having the built-in workflows and approval processes means our leaders can actually transact themselves, and as Jeroen said, because the data is very accurate, it's integrated, we have confidence using it in the right way. So self-service is definitely one of them. And then the other is around helping our employees respond to their inquiries. We've got the next-gen help desk, which really gives us access to knowledge very quickly, and we can respond in a much faster and much more comprehensive way.
Okay, final question here. AI, of course, is the name of the game right now, right?
It is,
You
yes.
mentioned artificial intelligence earlier. How are you leveraging artificial intelligence within Fusion Cloud applications, and what additional benefits will this bring the company, Jerome?
Look, we're big fans of artificial intelligence. We try to infuse it right across our organization. And what we love about Oracle and the application suite is that there's a lot of pre-built AI features baked into it. Selfishly, that saves me a lot of time. So I don't have to build them myself. I can just switch them on and make them available to the HR team, the finance teams, and other teams within the organization. And what we believe is going to be really critical is that those features will help us accelerate and create better experience around recruitment, onboarding, workforce management, but also things like learning. It will help educate faster and more efficiently.
Yeah, well, those are all great things, and we look forward to seeing the greater productivity and efficiency you bring with those AI capabilities. Thank you both so much for joining us here in Sydney.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Now, don't go anywhere, because our final interview will be right after this break with none other than the team principal and CEO of Oracle Red Bull Racing, Christian Horner. If you're a chief HR officer, you know all about pressure. Recruiting, hiring, and onboarding the right people, development and retention, offboarding without bringing on legal risks. Basically, keep your employees happy, connect employee success with business growth. Oh yeah, and do it without spending more. That's why there's Oracle Fusion Cloud Human Capital Management, the most complete cloud HCM solution. Drive engagement, productivity, and business value in one connected and AI-powered cloud solution. Learn more at oracle.com/HCM. Well, I can hardly believe it, but we are at our final interview here from CloudWorld Tour Sydney 2025, and arguably we've saved the best for last. I am sitting down with none other than the team principal and CEO of the best team in Formula One, Oracle Red Bull Racing. Christian, it's so nice to have you back on.
Good to be here.
It's been a while.
It has been a while. But
what have you been up to?
Well, we've had a bit of racing to do. But,
yeah, just a bit.
But I've come in we're in Melbourne obviously at the weekend, so it's great to be here at the CloudWorld event.
Since it has been, I think it's been about a year since I've last sat down with you, and just like business, technology is really forcing F1 to adapt quite rapidly.
Yeah.
What is new in the sport coming into this season?
Well, look, there's plenty new going on, but with with Oracle this year, I mean, AI is everything. So we're using it on the pit wall, we're using it from a regulatory point of view now. We're designing our new engine with it. So so we're really pushing the boundaries, in that area.
So with all the talk around AI, obviously that comes with a lot of change and maybe some challenge, but what opportunities does it open up for Oracle Red Bull Racing?
Well, look, I mean, it just helps us to get to solutions quicker, and it's really creative in the some of the solutions that it's providing. So it's super exciting, and we're only scratching at the surface at the moment. I think the possibilities are endless.
Right. Well, with, like I said, the kind of ever-evolving landscape of technology, which is then impacting F1, how does Oracle Red Bull Racing keep up with all this change, and what role does Oracle play in that for you?
Well, Oracle plays a key role for us. So, enabling to stay ahead, and it's across all aspects of the business, whether it's engaging with our fans so that we know who they are, what they like, what they want, because we've got the biggest growing fan base of any sports team in the world at the moment, and we want to know what the fans want from us. And then across applications within the business, with AI, with our race simulation tools, so many aspects that we're making use of Oracle products. It's great to see.
Well, it's certainly an exciting time. Now, one of the things that I know that you're leveraging Oracle technology for is really making some of the bold decisions that Red Bull Racing and you are known for. Can you give me an example of a bold decision you've made coming into this season to help Max clinch that 5th Drivers' World Championship title as well as another Constructors' Championship?
Well, obviously the design process of the car is that's where the performance is coming from. So that's where we're using Oracle tools to help guide us to design and develop this car. Where do we spend our money to get the biggest return? So that's where AI plays, a really interesting role for us, and how we exploit regulations as well.
Right.
So we're a very heavily regulated sport, and it's all about how you interpret those regulations to come up with solutions.
Right. We were just actually talking, we had Mike Sicilia on earlier and talking to him about how Oracle and AI play such a huge role in these highly regulated industries.
Yeah.
I didn't think of, obviously, F1
it's
is one of those, but it is the same.
We're so regulated
right.
that it's very interesting for us.
Well, this season has already had quite the start.
Yeah.
Melbourne was a wild start to the season. Were there any surprises there for you?
There was plenty. I mean, the weather was a big one. But it was an exciting race. I mean, those last few laps, maybe one or two more laps, we might have got the win.
Yeah.
But it was a strong start, particularly for Max. A tough race for Liam in his first outing, but he'll bounce back quickly. And of course, China this weekend.
Yeah.
We're on the road and up and running again.
You from Melbourne to Sydney, and then you'll be in China.
Yeah.
You've got a wild schedule.
Yeah.
What else can we expect? Like we said, wild start to the season.
Yeah.
We obviously saw McLaren doing really well. What else can we expect from this season?
Well, McLaren are going to be strong, and they're the team at the moment that we need to beat. So, but it's a marathon. It's not a sprint. I mean, 24 races plus all the sprint races is an epic season. 9 months. From start to finish. So, we're just at the starting point.
Right.
We know where we need to improve the car, and we're excited for the races ahead.
What can we expect in China?
In China, it's the first of the sprint races,
right.
So that adds another pressure.
Right.
And it's going to be interesting. Already the rules have changed slightly for China with a rear wing, rig. So, that process is already ongoing.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I look forward to a great season ahead. I look forward to watching Oracle Red Bull Racing dominate again. I will not be mad about some friendly competition, I'll say that.
Yeah.
So.
Well, look, competition is good for everybody.
Exactly.
So, and it makes winning even more satisfying
of course.
When you achieve it.
Yes, well, I can't wait to watch us win again. And Christian, it is always so nice to have you on Oracle TV.
Well, good to see you again.
You too. Now don't go anywhere because we will close out the show right after this. If your business is all in on AI, it's time to upgrade to the next generation of the cloud, Oracle Cloud Infrastructure. OCI is the blazing fast and secure platform for your infrastructure, database, application development, plus all your AI and machine learning workloads. It powers your business to run any application for less. In fact, OCI costs 50% less for compute and 80% less for networking. Take a free test drive of OCI at oracle.com/cloud. And that is a wrap on Oracle CloudWorld Tour Sydney 2025. I've had a blast. I hope you did too. Make sure you use the comments on whatever platform you're tuning in from to tell us your top takeaways from today's event. Thank you so much for joining. And hey, if you like what you got here today, make sure you subscribe because there is so much more content where that came from. In fact, we've taken Oracle CloudWorld Tours global, and Oracle TV has gone with it. In fact, in just a few days, we will be in London. Then we'll be in New York shortly after that with our grand finale from Oracle's biggest event of the year, CloudWorld in Las Vegas. We'll see you then. Have a good one.